find in the ebible.org's public domain Bible. He entered and was passing through Jericho. There was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and he was rich. He was trying to see who Jesus was and couldn't because of the crowd. Because he was short, he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was going to pass that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for today I must stay at your house. He hurried, came down, and received him joyfully. When they saw it, they all murmured, saying, he has gone in to lodge with a man who is a sinner. Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, behold, Lord, half of my goods I give to the poor. If I have wrongfully exacted anything of anyone, I restore 4 times as much. Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save which was lost. As they heard these things, he went on and told a parable because he was near Jerusalem, and they supposed that God's kingdom would be revealed immediately. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. He called 10 servants of his and gave them 10 mina coins and told them, conduct business until I come. But his citizens hated him and sent an envoy after him, saying, we don't want this man to reign over us. When he had come back again, having received the kingdom, he commanded these servants to whom he had given the money to be called to him, that he might know what they had gained by conducting business. The first came before him, saying, Lord, your mina has made 10 more minas. He said to him, well done, you good servant. Because you were found faithful with very little, you shall have authority over 10 cities. The second came, saying, your mina, Lord, has made 5 minas. So he said to him, and you are to be over 5 cities. Another came, saying, Lord, behold, your mina, which I kept laid away in a handkerchief, for I feared you, because you are an exacting man. You take up that which you didn't lay down, and reap that which you didn't sow. He said to him, out of your own mouth I will judge you, you wicked servant. You knew that I am an exacting man, taking up that which I didn't lay down, and reaping that which I didn't sow. Then why didn't you deposit my money in the bank? And at my coming I might have earned interest on it. He said to those who stood by, take the mina away from him and give it to him who has the 10 minas. They said to him, Lord, he has 10 minas. For I tell you that to everyone who has will more be given, but from him who doesn't have, even that which he has will be taken away from him. But bring those enemies of mine who didn't want me to reign over them here, and kill them before me. Having said these things, he went on ahead, going up to Jerusalem. When he came near the Bethphage and Bethany at the mountain that is called Olivet, he sent 2 of his disciples, saying, go your way into the village on the other side, in which as you enter you will find a colt tied, which no man has ever sat upon. Untie it and bring it. If anyone asks you, why are you untying it, say to him, the Lord needs it. Those who were sent away and found things just as he had told them. As they were untying the colt, its owner said to them, why are you untying the colt? They said, the Lord needs it. Then they brought it to Jesus. They threw their cloaks on the colt and sat Jesus on them. As he went, they spread their cloaks on the road. As he was now getting near at the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works which they had seen, saying, blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest. Some of the Pharisees from the multitude said to him, teacher, rebuke your disciples. He answered them, I tell you that if these were silent, the stones would cry out. When he came near, so sorry. trying to get that glare off my glasses. Sorry about that. When he came near, he saw the city and wept over it, saying, even you, had known today the things which belong to your peace, but now they are hidden from your eyes. For the days will come on you when your enemies will throw up a barricade against you, surround you, hem you in on every side, and will dash you and your children within you to the ground. They will not leave in you one stone on another because you didn't know the time of your visitation. He entered into the temple and began to drive out those who bought and sold in it, saying to them, "It is written, my house is a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of robbers." He was teaching daily in the temple, but the chief priests, the scribes, and the leading men among the people sought to destroy him. They couldn't find what they might do, for all the people hung on to every word that he said. Luke chapter 19. Luke chapter 20. On one of those days, as he was teaching the people in the temple and preaching the good news, the priests and scribes came to him with the elders. They asked him, "Tell us, by what authority do you do these things? Or who is giving you this authority?" He answered them, I will also I He answered them, "I also will ask you one question. Tell me, the baptism of John, was it from heaven or from men?" They reasoned with themselves, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say, 'Why didn't you believe him?' But if we say from men, all the people will stone us, for they are persuaded that John was a prophet." They answered that they didn't know where it was from. Jesus said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." He began to tell the people this parable. A man planted a vineyard and rented it out to some farmers and went into another country for a long time. At the proper season, he sent a servant to the farmer to collect a share of the fruit of the vineyard. But the farmers beat him and sent him away empty. And he sent yet another servant, and they also beat him and treated him shamefully and sent him away empty. He sent yet a third, and they also wounded him and threw him out. The Lord of the vineyard said, "What shall I do? I will send my beloved son. It may be that seeing him, they will respect him." But when the farmers saw him, they reasoned among themselves, saying, "This is his heir. Come, let's kill him, that the inheritance may be ours." Then they threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. What therefore will the Lord of the vineyard do to them? He will come and destroy these farmers and will give the vineyard to the others. When they heard that, they said, "May that never be." But he looked at them and said, "Then what is it that is written? The stone which the builders rejected was made the chief cornerstone. Everyone who falls on that stone will be broken to pieces, but it will crush whomever it falls on to dust." The chief priests and the scribes sought to lay hands on him that very hour, but they feared the people, for they knew he had spoken this parable against them. They watched him and sent out spies who pretended to be righteous, that they might trap him in something he said, so as to deliver him as to the power and authority of the governor. They asked him, "Teacher, we know that you say and teach what is right and aren't partial to anyone, but truly teach the way of God. Is it lawful for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" But he perceived their craftiness and said to them, "Why do you test me? Show me a denarius. Whose image and inscription are on it?" They answered, "Caesar's." He said to them, "Then give to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." They weren't able to trap him in his words before the people. They marveled at his answer and were silent. Some of the Sadducees came to him, those who deny that there is a resurrection. They asked him, "Teacher, Moses wrote to us that if a man's brother dies after having a wife and is childless, his brother should take the wife and raise up children for his brother. There were therefore 7 brothers. The first took a wife and died childless. The second took her as a wife, and he died childless. The third took her, and likewise the 7 all left no children and died. Afterward, the woman also died. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife of them will she be? For the 7 had her as a wife. Jesus said to them, the children of this age marry and are given in marriage. But those who are considered worthy to attain to that age and the resurrection from the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage, for they can't die any more, for they are like the angels and are children of God, being children of the resurrection. But that the dead are raised, even Moses showed at the bush when he called the Lord the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Now, he is not the God of the dead, but of the living, for all are alive to him. Some of the scribes answered, Teacher, you speak well. They didn't dare to ask him any more questions. He said to them, why did they say that the Christ is David's son? David himself says in the book of Psalms, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make my enemies the footstool of your feet. In the hearing of all the people, he said to his disciples, beware of those scribes who like to walk in long robes and love greetings in the marketplaces, the best seats in the synagogues and the best places at feast, who devour widows' houses and for a pretense make long prayers. These will receive greater condemnation.